So good evening and welcome to the Donny Chaingang with me, Matt Payne. We're live down here in the studios for another edition of the Donny Chaingang out on the Downing Cycling YouTube channel. We've got a great route in store and I'm looking forward to seeing how our riders get on what is fast becoming a firm favourite for us on a hilly route. And this is definitely hilly because we're going up Box Hill 3 times, including finishing there for the last time. Now, our yellow beacon today here on the Donny Chaingang is Russ Downing. Russ has been exceptionally busy out in his pain cave. So we're going to aim to get across to Russ very shortly. In the meantime, quick heads up. Heading to Lincoln for the National. So if you're at Lincoln, you're going to find I am out there, and I'm going to be bringing the chain gang from the side of the road, quite literally, as well as being on the mic for all of the 4 days. So we've got, make sure you go for it, time trial. We've also got the uphill dash. We've got the crit champs. We've got the national road champs. So the time trial and the crit and the road champs, 4 championship events, plus the uphill dash, winner takes all, £1,000 knockout hill climb on the Saturday, plus lots of other bits and pieces going on over the course of the 4 days. And as soon as we finish the time trial on the Thursday, I'm going to be jumping in the van. I'm going to be doing quite literally an outside broadcast. I'm finding the biggest mobile mess we can do, and we're going to be beaming the show in and out again. Quite literally out in the field. It's actually going to be out on an old air base. We've already done the scouting out for it to make sure we've got a signal and we've got the power, and we can keep on bringing you the chain gang. So that's one of the things on Thursday. There's also a fair bit of other news. So let's go across to our yellow beacon, because on the end of the line is Russ Downing. Oh, he's gone quiet. Let's try again. Russ, are you there?
Hello, mate.
Can you hear me, mother? Yes, I got you. He's there. Excellent.
I've got you, mate. But yeah, pretty quiet, but we're all good.
Okay, so we're going to be in a very hilly London for the moment, which is, of course, the Box Hill, which is definitely one of the tougher routes. And looks like we've got a all-star cast as well, because we've got Sir Mr. Ben Swift on here.
Yeah, he was rushing around this afternoon to get back in time. So yeah, a few daft messages as we do, myself and Ben. But yeah, he looks like he's made it, and yeah, he's gonna. I don't think he's doing the full route. I think he's scared of Box Hill, you know. But
well, I don't blame him.
Yeah, yeah, three times is not. It's not in his program. So yeah, it's all good.
And he'll be preparing, like a lot of the Donny Chaingang riders, for, of course, the national championships. We've got quite a lot of people due to be over and racing at the national champs who ride on the Chaingang regularly, both male and female. So going to be interested to see how they get on. And, of course, we've got Donny Chaingangers going up and racing in the hill climb. So looking forward to seeing everybody there. Now, we were looking forward to seeing you at the champs and, of course, on the Chaingang as well. But it looks like you having a bit of a restricted program. You're going to be busy, in fact, on Thursday, aren't you?
I'm always busy, mate. But yeah, Thursday, myself and Dino are down to London for a Great Ormond Street Hospital fundraiser. It's all on the velodrome on Thursday, and then train Friday. And I'll probably be there Friday night for the crit, and then might have a day off on Saturday, and I'll probably be at the road race on Sunday. So yeah, I will be there, but you know, I might just be a little bit ragged.
Yeah, that's one way to put it. So we've got the Wolf back on Thursday for Greater London Flat. I'm sure you'd much rather actually have swapped the routes round, to be honest, if you'd have had time.
Yeah, you know, sort of that's life. Jimmy loves Greater London Flat, so yeah, I'm sure he'll control it well, and then hopefully he can come back and yeah, settle this crazy thing down and get his teeth stuck into the DCG and have a, like someone said, you know, winter's here. Have a great winter program, and yeah, let's get some FTPs increased and have some fun along the way.
Definitely. Well, I'm going to let you get off and keep the instructions heading out there, and we're going to go take a look at where we go. So we'll catch up with you later, Russ. Cheers very much.
Cheers, mate. Thanks a lot.
See ya. So great to catch up with Russ out on the Pain Cave. Now we have our Red Beacon, Jason Stevens, the Shed 7 and Pulp blasting out on the Red Bus sound system. It sounds like it's fully in flow already, which is great to see. The Red Beacon, of course, our sweeper, who will be making sure everything's in. We've done a little bit of a redefine of the sweeper's role to make it more accessible, to make sure that the Chaingang is still continuing to be accessible for everyone. Thank you everybody who's volunteered for that. We're on London Box Hill finish, so we have the lead, and we come off from those chevrons, we come down and around this circuit, and basically we're going around in a anti-clockwise direction, and we have 2.5 laps to cover, each lap being at 40.9k, which means that we finish the third time up Box Hill at the King of the Mountains banner at 39 kilometres. We're going to be warming down for about 1k down the hill, but of course if you're on Zwift, best thing to do, roll to the bottom, get those points in there, get those drops points all added in. Don't forget, of course, if you are out and riding and watching live, then you're going to know our riders just about setting off now, so it's all about keeping together with that yellow beacon. Now, 3 times up Box Hill, if we move off our fantastic map provided by Zwift Hacks and drop across to the London Loop, the Box Hill finish, you can see this is what our riders having. So we've twisted it around slightly, and that means that we're coming in from the bottom left-hand corner. We roller coaster our way in to the top right-hand side, and we come back up onto the hill, and then up the yellow sections up that 10%, and then we drop down the side on the far side and drop back down. It's a very similar profile, in fact, so down underneath the tunnels, and then we kick in and over the elevators. So we have the elevators, remember, 2.5 laps means that we're going to go up those elevators twice, which is actually one of the steepest parts of the course. It's actually in red. So let's get and take a look out on the course, because our riders are already up and on the course, and I think just making their way through the buildings of London here on the Donny Chaingang, and you can see them just over on your screen. We're going to drop in some stats because we're actually sat in and watching Russ Downing. So don't forget, on your screen, top corner of your screen, heart rate, wattage and revs, as long as everybody's got the sensors connected. In the middle of the screen, we then have the kilometers per hour, currently 32 kph, 31 kph, 0.7k covered, 4 meters of ascent done, 1 minute 24 and ticking. You can see Russ's name is highlighted in blue. All right, over on the far side, on the right hand side of the screen, and the riders that are nearest to him are there. Now everybody gets to see those, and of course the yellow beacon shows up for everybody. Russ's messages to the riders will appear on your screen in yellow. Everybody else's messages don't, so you can see Russ's go right across the middle of the screen. Super simple. So a description from Russ: 1 time up, easy up Box Hill, and then it's going to ramp up from there. Everybody else's messages coming in right on the far side. Just seeing Ben Swift just starting to appear, and we are able to jump across from rider to rider pretty easily. We can jump across to our red beacon, as you can see. And the red beacon, this is our Lantern Rouge that's going to be pulling everybody together, and Jason Stevens going to be doing a great job. And good to see that Jason's got the YouTube rolling already, because we're even getting away. Hi, my name's Jason Stevens. I'm your Red Beacon or bus driver for the day. So great to see that he's up and running and already in action. Let's jump in live onto the ride, and let's get down and close with our riders on the Donny Chaingang here on the Downing Cycling YouTube channel with me, Matt Payne. So, looks a little bit strung out at the moment. We're just taking a little bit of a look at the map at the minute, and it's looking a little bit stringy, let's say, on the Donny Chaingang today. This roller coaster section, definitely one of those tricky ones. We're going to get our drone camera up and running, and remember, it is a little bit like the aim is to blob up to all pile on Russ at the moment. The front definitely strung out. The back of the group just starting to try and get itself back together again. Looks like Sonia Inslee, a rider who's been out and getting medals on the hill climb. She's doing 2.4 watts per kilo, going nowhere. So I think Sonia's going to be jumping out and in. Mr. Tickhill in with the gang here with Stevens. Looks like topping in here, and Looks like Ben Swift just sat in with the group there. So Ben in with the Red Beacon group. Ben knows how this game works. So let's take a quick check of Ben. Looking forward to seeing Ben in action at the weekend on that Pinarello. And Ben currently riding smoothly there for the Ineos, the Grenadier Ineos squad. And interestingly lost the champs jersey that we've seen him regularly riding. So it is super quick up at the front, and at the moment Ben Swift just closing his way down on Stevens. So I'm going to take a quick check. You can just see that the gang is stretched a little bit. It is definitely strung out here. The Red Beacon just trying to get everybody together. One man who we know is more than capable of getting there is Ben Swift, who's just chasing onto the back of our Red Beacon. And as you can see, the Beacon just working their way up towards the back of the pack to try and get everybody together. It's 5.7k running here on the loop across in towards Trafalgar Square and down past Downing Street, and we often find that this is the running that we use on super loops. However, we have got to say it is critical that this, when it's on part of the 3-lap, the first part is steady, because we're seeing plenty of people at the moment just having to jump back in to get back on to the group. So as you can see from the cameras here, very strung out with people. We're just waiting to bring that Red Beacon group back in again. Matt Nunn, easy way to know where the finish line is to watch the YouTube channel, or of course to be in the DCG gang, the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club, and that way is you will know exactly where we're going, because of course the show tells you exactly where we're heading. So Ben Swift steadily making his way up towards the riders in front. But as you can see, it is absolutely... So, Nunn, you are watching, right, dead easy. Good to have you with us. You're right, I can't even see you on the front. Matt, it's 3 times up Box Hill. You finish at the finish line of Box Hill tonight, not the blue line, that's the warm down line, mate. Great to have you watching. And good to see he's on. So, yeah, really simple. 3 times up Box Hill. So when you get to the top of 3, it's going to be very interesting indeed. Certainly looking at the moment, a rather spaced out. You've got Mr. Pillsworth in here. And if we work our way through the gang, you can see just how bouncy it is. Seeing lots of big numbers up on the front here as we start to make our way in and around Russ. Get that camera up and running. Hopefully this will start to collect riders here and get the group together. The Red Beacon just working its way onto the back. Now when we get to the top of this hill, if you're watching live, remember guys, you need to ease off here. I'm sure our Yellow Beacon will be saying pretty much the same. If you're on the front and stretching it out over the top, then you are going to make things really, really difficult for the riders at the back. So it's all about making sure that you stay in that group and don't stretch the front of the group apart. At the moment we've just got a bits of gaps just opening up in the main group. Good to see Matt Nunn's planning on joining the group in November. Good to see, and you of course then get a heads up. We give you all of the relative information to the group. So the gang are riding well. We're just going to sit in and keep an eye on watching Russ and all the gangs to stay a little bit spread out at the moment. So just jumped in with Mr. Dunn, just sitting around the team up in the gang. So like the gang a little bit strung out, just working our way back down through this group. So riders out on the loop at the moment. Now there are going to be some eagle-eyed riders in there, and just keeping an eye on the message boards, just watching what people are having, what people are saying, and just keeping a check on what's going on. And looks like Dick Simone was happy birthday yesterday. You can see Mr. Flynn is back in with us. Agreed totally with that one. Mr. Tickle's just been left out of the bus because he's going to have an early night. Fair enough. Not surprised. We can see Geoff Watson back in the chain gang again. He was riding well at the weekend. The team just trying to hold the group together. So Geoff, who seems to spend his time gallivanting around the country, just making his way out and round for Scott. Currently back onto the chain gang, which is great to see. Mr. Booth just nice and easily in there. Just got Stevens just a little bit further back. So let's take a little bit of a check on here. The two Rings, he wasn't going that well at the weekend. It is a national trophy, mate. You're not as young as you used to be. Let's face it, none of us are. So there are going to be a couple of pauses as we go off air a couple of times. Just talk amongst yourselves. The full sound's going to disappear a couple of times tonight. We'll also do a couple of tests. So just to make you aware, we're going to have a couple of test periods, one of which is coming up now. We're also just doing a couple of tests back behind the scenes. And I'll be back with you shortly. Enjoy the pictures in the meantime. Our gang all riding well. We'll probably jump up over and above Russ as he makes his way through. So enjoy the pictures. We're just going to drop the sound out for a little while. So we're just going to jump in back into the broadcast because we've been doing a little bit of testing backstage. We've also been double checking, and the loop that the rider's been sent on, the eagle-eyed amongst you might have spotted it. Doesn't look like anybody in fact has, but we have. Good job that one of us is awake. Really, really interesting. But we have headed out, not on the standard London loop, which gives us 3 ascents of Box Hill. But for some reason today, we're going out on the Greater London Loop, and that's certainly not what it's put in as. So we got a little glitch somewhere, not quite sure where that lies. We'll worry about that later. What we can tell you, the good news is, you're only going to need to go up Box Hill twice, because the Box Hill ascent will take us up. So we are going to be going up Box Hill, and we're going to finish on the second time is 2 laps up Box Hill. So we finish on the second time up Box Hill, not third time, just simply because of the route distances won't work. We're going to go over the ride distance if we go for even 2 full laps. So it's twice up Box Hill, not 3 times up Box Hill. That's the heads up. So it's not 3 times. We're going to finish twice. So 2 times up Box Hill. Please, guys, make sure you ping it about. Make sure everybody knows. Gail Phillips, it's not just done because we were really impressed with you and the volume of people you've got to do the Red Beacon duties, but I think a lot of people have been playing this. The Fat Cyclist and Gareth Mason rise up Box Hill pretty much every single day. I would imagine he rides out of his front door, so I'm loving the fact everybody loves it. You never know, this might become a new classic favourite on the Chain Gang, because we keep on we do tend to use the 3 times rather than 2. So everyone together this time round, and then we'll see where Russ is going to call the magic 3 Gs. So whilst we go up the climb, I'm busy drinking Grand Tour coffee. People don't believe me necessarily when I say we do practice what we preach, and we are definitely drinking the coffee. So there you go, proper genuine article. Grand Tour coffee, you got about half of it left. It won't last very long. Yeah, we do. And the guys that you see, the people from Grand Tour Coffee, Velo Viewer, of course 1080 Veloskin, OT and Halo, as well as Gritty, all supporting the Donny Chaingang members, the members of the DCG gang. The members of the DCG gang, well, they're the people who keep the show quite literally on the road. So it looks like Mr. Stevens is currently just going to be picking people up. The bus is quite solitary at the back. We'll just double check. So Jason Stevens, it's a bit of, you always worry about people when they just drink on their own, but he's clearly on the bus on his own and enjoying it. So good to have Jason out, and interestingly got the academy on. Jason, get some messages up. Tell us how you're doing on the academy, mate, and how you're finding it. That would be really good to know. So just taking a little bit of a check through the names on here. Good to see we've got Sonia Inslee in with us. Let's take a quick check on Sonia. Sonia in here, George Cooper in here. For those people that don't know, this young man, George Cooper, podium at the National Cyclocross at the weekend. Good to see George on the podium. His teammate Jacob up there as well. So good to see the pair from Sherwood Pines up and in the mix. Sonia Inslee, of course, taking a medal and taking a hill climb. Just having a little bit of a run through. Barry Kipling's back in with us. Looks like Emma Dooley just in the gang here. So just take a check. Yeah, Emma in here. Then let's have a little bit of a check. We've got Colin Bell back in. Kieran Smith is in here. OZK in. Mr. Mike Colin. Good to see Andy Verrills in. Sam Emsley back. Sam back in and with us now. Is what jersey is Sam in today? Oh, he's got in the Fondo jersey, interestingly. The Cryogen rider Sam Emsley now in with the Fondo jersey. Matt Nunn in as well, so good to have Matt with us, and good to know Matt is watching as well. Neil from the Crosscast in here. Saw Neil at the weekend, and a good ride by Neil in the National Cyclocross Champs, and of course by Caroline as well. Caroline was absolutely flying at the weekend, and a really good course laid out by a friend of the Crosscast, and that is the one and only Dave Haygarth. Xander Graham competing on the national Cyclocross Champs series, National Trophy Series. Geoff Watson was doing the same. Geoff in very appropriate bikes and beers. On, of course, what else would it be but a very nice Scott there as he makes his way up. Greg Booker is in with us. Looks like George Cooper just having a little bit of a wait there. Mr. Wood in with us, cocking in the group. Varty in here, looks like Steve Hilbert in here, and Steve's lad Chris riding for the Clancy Briggs Academy. Had a great ride in the National Trophy Series. Looks like George Cooper is stopping for a call of nature. Well, he's going to have to be quick, otherwise he's not going to get back on again. This is where you know how close people's facilities are to their turbo training room. Good to see Chris Iredale in here. Chris, of course, part of the Velaskin team. And I've got to say a massive thank you for Velaskin, who are really, really good at supporting the chain gang, and they really do look after the members of the DCG gang. Make sure that you get it ordered up. Good to see Dr. D is back in with us. He's usually crouched down on that green Tron bike. He's nicely in the mix as well. Big Tez is back as well. Let's have a little look. Nick Dorsey is here. So Nick in now. Yeah, it's a little bit monotone, mate. He's gone from his last couple of jerseys to a more staid, more discreet part. Now, let's have a look. Gary License back in with us. Good to have you back, Gary. Gary, another member of the DCG gang, regular in the gang as well. Stefano Borelli. Well, what can we say about Stefano, apart from the man as a bit of a legend and accommodating so many of the members of the DCG gang who are down at Nonnas, and great to see, and looking forward to working with him as well. Don't forget, of course, all of our sponsors looking after the members of the DCG gang, and we have Halloween coming back. It's making a return. Halo Wheels, the people who have been looking after the gang since its very first days, are going to be back in with us once again. And we are really looking forward to it. We've got some cracking routes. I'm not going to tell you where we're going, but I had a lot of fun, particularly with the Tuesday route. So I'll apologise now for the Tuesday route on Halloween week. Just make sure you get on it. Get it ridden. Make sure you get a heads up of where we're going as well, because it's going to be entertaining. Good to see Jason Stevens. That's some ride he's got onto the back of the group already. So good stuff. So let's take a little bit of a look up the road. It is just stringing it out a little bit up here. So here we go, round that next right-hand hairpin turn. Good to see Adi Dench in with the gang here. Adi in the traditional bikes and beers jersey. I know Eddie's been taking orders for the bikes and beers jerseys. I must admit I did contemplate one, but on the basis that I've not been on the bike for about 3 weeks, definitely not a good idea, because I'll have to order it in about 6 sizes too big. Don't tell anybody. It went up to almost my heaviest weight very, very quickly over the last couple of weeks. That's mostly because I've been away, working away at lots of events. Looking forward to going to Lincoln, though, because that is going to be great fun. We've got some great racing. I could wear it down the pub, mate, but you don't do sizes big enough. I like the comment, though. Very, very good. Sadly, that's probably not good. And if anybody knows me, actually, it is rare I actually hit the pub. It has to be said. That's as much as anything, because I probably did too much of it when I was younger. So let's take a little bit of a check up the road. Really good to see Taylor Leach's message in there. Anyone in and around Richmond doesn't want to ride on their own. There's the next few weeks there's a couple of Sheffielders who live near and are up for a ride, whatever. That is really good to see, and that is exactly what we want to see on the Donny Chaingang Looks like Mr. Gale at the moment on a bit of a mission here. Quite glad we just jumped on him then, just feeling marginally travel sick, as Gale's clearly having a bit of a weave about. It's like me going up Kerber Edge, is that at the moment? I'll jump out of there. That's very not good for my head as we go up here with the big screen. Good to see Greg Pillsworth back in with the gang, but just starting to see riders just start to make the way back with the red beacon. So it looks sort of like the red beacon just starting to collect a few riders in here. And interestingly, a lot of these riders are riders who have more of a sprinter's physique. So Jim Flynn and Big Tez and Les Wilcox, their avatar, their forearms, it's generally what I'm looking for. Forearms that look like mine after a session down at Awesome Walls in Sheffield. Definitely. As you can see, London Wheel in the background. So 4 people now just jumping nicely into the bus. Mr. Osmond just run back of the gang. Jeff Saysol in here. Good to see Jeff in there. Neil from the Cross, Cast Creek Genther in there. Chris Gale, John Garfoot, OCK. Conley in here. Dubash, Joff in here as well. Josie's in here. So that's a new name, I think. We're just going to have a double check. Let's see who we've got. Will Jones, could have Will Jones from HSS. So let's have a little bit of a check. So Will in here, good to have you with us, Will. So Will Jones from HSS in the gang. Good to see Bobby Mason back again. How you doing, Bobby? Good to have Bobby in and riding nice and smoothly. Looks like we've got Alistair Wood in here as well. So Alistair riding for the Team Sheffield was right. So he's in that Bikes and Beers jersey as well. We've got Johnson in here, Carl in as well. So Taylor in here. Genther sat in this group. Joe Jarvis is back on with us as well. We'll see Joe in with the gang. Joe, another regular on the chain gang. And Joe just making her way up here. So, with all this talking, guess what? We're nearly at the top, which is what we want to see. So the gang nicely making the way up, and a little strung out at the front, but it's not going to be far off the summit of the top of Box Hill for the first time. Currently at 16.1. We're then going to drop down. We'll come through the tunnels. We'll go across the line. So we're going to try and make sure that we get you the distances as we come in and through. And going to be a little bit of quick maths, never my strong point, as everybody knows. So going to go in and underneath that gantry very shortly. The clock ticking away as our riders come in and through round this left-hand side. So Joe Jarvis going through, and the whole of the gang on its way down the slope now. So riders on the descent now. We've done a little bit of quick maths there, so it is going to be a quick run down. It is going to be a drop in, and my expectation is that we're going to be coming round to the finish at the summit of Box Hill, and the finish should come at about 37.4 kilometres for our riders. 37.4k should be the finishing line when we get to the top of Box Hill next time. Remember, it's the King of the Mountains, or Queen of the Mountains sprint line. It's not at the top of the very top of the hill, because we've just gone over that. So our riders are now on the way down, just following the group as they make this descent. Hopefully going to get the group coming back together again on the run down the hillside. So our riders descending down. You can just see a really quick descent here as we start dropping down. The pace really does pick up as we come down. If we pull up Karl Kapinski's numbers here, for example, 75 kilometres per hour. So as you go over the top of that hill, the groups all split. If we pull our cam up in the air and take a little bit of a look down the back down the road behind, you can just see it's all over the place. So as we go through the tunnel, there's going to need to be a big old regroup and get everybody back together once again. Good to see so many people backing off the power. Loads of people with no power showing whatsoever. What a surprise at the moment. Absolutely critical at the minute. We're going to just drop back to Russ, who's currently sat just about in the middle of the group. Just going to go have a little bit of a check for Russ. Easier said than done at the moment because the positions are changing super fast. So let's jump in with Russ with a big pack here. And as you can see from the map at the top, it's pretty strung out up and around Russ. So if we take the map out a bit, you can see we've got riders all the way down that descent, riders who weren't behind the main group with the yellow beacon group at the moment. If you're watching live, about to take the right turn, it will be then followed by that left-hand turn as you come around in front of the island in towards the station and down in towards the tunnels. So sharp left turn into the station, into the underground station, on to the rail line. So time for a regroup, and remember the finish is going to be at the top of the hill next time around. It should come at 37.4 kilometres. We're coming around to complete lap number 1. We get out of the escalators and start heading back across. And it'll take a little bit of a look back whilst our riders just do a little bit of a regroup here and make their way in and through. Now, places where we might see, just having a little look here at these riders behind, just seeing Mr. Topping, Mr. Say, Sergeant Flynn, big says in there, Mr. Stevenson, Wilcoxon, all together. The group, though, well, they're just starting to regroup now. Places where we might see a go. Now, Russ and I obviously haven't talked about this in any way, shape, or form now because we're on a totally different route to what we were expecting. So, now, one of them is here on the big climb, nasty place to go because it would leave 17k to go. And that would be harsh. That would be very harsh. Hopefully we're not going to see that as you go up this 15% drag up here. Not the nicest place to go. However, remember we're going around the Greater London Flat in the opposite direction at the top, and then we drop back over the bridges. So may well be that we're going to see it on the climb out from Trafalgar Square. That would be a key place for it to go. It may be that we're going to see it go on the underpass as you climb out from the underpass. Remember, normally if we're doing the Greater London Flat as we are on Thursday, you often see it going on the climb out of the underpass on the Hyde Park corner. That's another good trigger point that we might see it. We might see it at the bottom of the box, but that'll be leaving it very late. That would only be about 5k to go. Whereas if we go on the underpass, that would leave quite a lot of time for people to get back together again. If we go on the climb up into Trafalgar Square or up on the climb up to the high point up at the top of the hill, then we might see that that's probably a good distance, but it's going to be all dependent on what Russ feels the ride's riding like, how the people are getting on and how the pace is holding. So Russ currently sitting at the back of the gang as we're going to come around and into towards the group. As we come through the bridge at the moment, you can just see the drone just with a good shot here of the Tower of London as you come in and over the Tower Bridge. They're going to come past the Tower of London and making our way up in towards the side of the Gherkin. We're going to take a left turn here just in front of the Pens. Obviously the velodrome isn't there in real life, so if you do know that, guys, don't need to let us know. We get messages about it regularly. I know it's not there really. It's fine. We can live with. Got the landmarks, not necessarily all in the right place though. The roads do ride right, that is for sure. And at the moment, the gang just spread a little bit out and around the group here. So just dropping in and above Russ here as he just makes his way from the back of the group. So you're going to take the camera back out again. Remember, we've got rolling roads first of all in towards Trafalgar Square on this section. Once we've done the rolling roads, then we're going to be heading up on to the climb up into T Square. Then when we go up from the T Square, we go up onto the climb at the top. Tim Cooper saying, yeah, this is definitely hints from Matt. Yeah, what generally happens is if I give Russ any suggestions, he doesn't do them, guys. I'll warn you now. Any of my suggestions are almost certainly not going to happen. Russ and I have this thing where whatever I suggest, Russ will do the complete opposite generally. It's a great working relationship for that, and it's very funny. We have to have a laugh about it sometimes because Russ, of course, is in the ride. He actually is feeling the ride of the group. I just get to watch it from the outside, which means that I obviously have absolutely no idea of just how hard it is, painfully fast or slow. So we'll see just how that's going to go. Now the group just about waiting for everybody, almost everybody back together at the back of the group. You can just see the back of the gang coming back together again. It's like Gail's still in this group. Stefano Borelli's in the group here. Just seen Mr. Dench in the group as well. Real who's who in there. Everybody holding together quite nicely in there. I think Mr. Wimble is in there by the look of it. Yes, he is in that Yanzi jersey as well. So I'm loving the message that says, well, if he's going to ignore you, then tell him he's going to make it go early. I've tried that as well. So let's see where it's going to go. In fact, Russ is actually not even listening to YouTube at the moment. So we'll see how it goes. Russ is in his own little world. So just taking a little check down in here. Russ just tucked nicely on the back here, 100 beats per minute. Now we're not calling Russ today. There's a reason for that because Russ is doing all sorts of stuff. So let's see what's going to happen. So no instructions, either Russ is throwing a death one or he's deliberately probably ignoring. To be honest, I'd imagine he's just going to ignore me anyway because he's actually got the YouTube switched off. There's a reason for that. At the moment, Russ is taking his play and he's actually in the pain cave for the first time, second time ever. Just trying to move Wi-Fi and internet signal without using Wi-Fi. So let's see what is going to happen. So. Let's see how it's going. I'm loving the message. Russ is definitely Kimi Räikkönen. Don't worry, I've got this. I hope so. I definitely hope so. It could be very interesting to see where we do go. So it looks like Russ just about got the message board up and running, which is always good news. Get to watch these the messages flying backwards and forwards. So Let's see, pace just starting to get a little bit more wound up as we move our way in towards this next climb. The group holding together, just keeping an eye, just one or two riders just off the back here. Just people who've just trying to get on Potts just at the moment, just at the back of this group. So Potts it is at the minute. He just needs to push to get into the back of the pack. Russ just nicely holding the back of the group, and Greg Booker, interestingly, just sitting back at the moment, saving some energy. Looks like Alistair Woods on your instinct, just say so, heading back towards that bus being driven by Mr. Stevens, Jason Stevens. Now we've got just a few fast people. Dorsey just being caught up here. Amaduli in that group at the moment, just out to the right-hand side. Looks like Birmingham still in here. Sean Ferron is in the group as well, so good to see Sean in here. It's always good to be able to actually pick people up as we start to get towards the end of the ride. Looks like Mr. Cocking in the pack. So here we go. The finish is hopefully at the top of the hill, at the top of Box Hill. The KOM banned. If only KOMs were banned, I think I would quite like that. That is his banner. So hopefully everybody's aware of this. Let's see how it all goes. Maybe we should get KOMs banned, that'd be quite nice. No hills allowed, just flat. So Owen's just pushing on through, just getting into the back of the group. Gary Licence in here. It looks like Wilson, Gale, Dooley, Eddie Dench just rolling around near Russ's position at the moment. So right hand turn coming up. This is the climb up towards the high point of the course on this side of the river. It's a high point that's used for the Greater London Flats. Lots of London loops actually coming across this. Just to the left hand side as we come into the hill, actually St James's Palace, which is now pretty much directly behind us. As we come up to the top, we take the left turn. This drops us down past Green Park, down in towards Hyde Park Corner. Then we've got the underpass, then back up the other side, and then we're into that long run into the river, then onto a Box Hill. Current distance 26.7k. Expected hilltop finish at 37k. So still a substantial amount of distance to go. About 11.4k to 11.2k to go, according to our math, 11.3k or so. So let's see if that's going to play out correctly when we get up onto the climb. But at the moment, everybody rolling down off this hillside in towards the underpass. So heading down into towards that turn. Little group just being fractured off the back of the group here. So it's like Dooley, Wilson, Owens, as they came up that climb, just being distanced. The pace just too much. So first the groups detached, the pace starts to pick up here on the Donny Chaingang. Gale just on the side, along with Ray in there as well. So that I think is going to be Tracy in there. So just watching Tracy at the moment as we're sat alongside, just sitting on the heels of Russ. The pace goes up as we go downhill. You can see the power that having to be put in to stay with the group as they come in and under the underpass. Now fast speed here, 54 kph. Very tight blob, very tight group of riders together at the moment. So just keeping an eye as they come up this slope here. It's looking like the pace just kicking in that group, just about holding all together. Rain just falling down in London a bit like it is in North Derbyshire, South Yorkshire area. And the gaps just starting to form behind them. Looks like Lindy and Licence just gluing themselves in to that group. Stefano Borelli nicely in here as well. OZK's in here. Sutcliffe's in here. Osmond's in here. Tim Cooper on another good ride here. 4 metres behind at the moment. Bell in this pack as well. Looks like Wimble in here. Mr. Crapper is in. Good to see Thomas in the group. I think we focused on Thomas for a little while. Should be just nicely in this package there in the blue camo outfit. Just nestled in the middle. Neil Tukey in the gang here. Chris Idell up near the front. Neil Birmingham's up here as well. Darryl Tatchell Wallace in here. We haven't seen too much of Darryl on the front. No comments from Russell on that one. Jimmy Allen is here with us, and of course Jimmy Allen is going to be our yellow beacon on Thursday because Russ is called away to Jiu-Jitsu with Great Ormond Street Hospital and helping out on their charity event for them. So means that Jimmy Allen, the Wolf, will be back once again. We're just riding in with Darryl Tatchell Waller at the moment. Two keepers in the ID, Dench in Varty in the group, Chris Iredale, and a Velskin man, one of the key supporters of the Donny Chaingang here. So the pace is starting to pick it up here. It's to see Chris just ticking along at about 5 watts per kilo in that grey and orange of Velaskin here, and sat on nicely on the front of the gang. Look at the numbers coming out. I'm not sure whether I missed it, but my goodness, the pace is getting quick here. We're still doing 52 kph here, so it is already starting to wind. So we just see Neil from the crosscast moving his way up through the group. Looks like Briggs is in it. Kieran Smith is in the group. Osman Steve G in here, just in with West at the moment. And you can just feel the tension building here. And I think we're likely to just start to see a few splits opening up behind. This is going to get a bit interesting. So Geoff Watson, I'm just going to jump on, in theory, where Geoff is here. So Geoff is just in that vice and a beers. You just see the back of this pack. Oh, the camera's just going a little bit mad. Here we go. Group at the back now starting to feel the pressure. There's going to be about 5, so no messages come from Russ. He hasn't typed anything yet. He's making people wait tonight. This is going to get interesting. We got 5 people off the back. Looks like a massive kick there. I think that was Borelli just coming back onto the back of the group. Just going to try and drop back to see where they are. It is winding up. It's winding up. He's keeping people on their toes. Trying to get back to see who's just struggling at the back here. And this is our group of riders. So it looks like Andy Verrill in the pack, Joe Jarvis, Keith Hayward here. It looks like in this pack, and Stefano Borelli. So Borelli in the pink and blue Lamprey kit. We've got Joe Jarvis in the blue Rafa kit. We've got Andy Verrill with the Belgian black kit, and then we've got Keith Hayward in that bright yellow and orange kit. Now they've been detached. Now Gale is the back of this pack. We're on our run down in towards the finishing turn across towards the hill. The finishing hill is going to take its toll on our riders today. Left turn done. That little group now being detached by a number of seconds off the back. 12 seconds. You can see how fast it is, and the go has gone. Whoa, that's a mean place to do it, just as we go onto the flat now. This really is going to wind. So Russ choosing to wind it up where it's going to bring a lot of people. Now we can bring quite a big group along here in, and this is going to pull some serious personal best, I think, from Russ's call there. So let's take a little bit of run up. I'm just going to try and run in with Ryan Crawley here. Crawley just up on the front here with Birmingham. And they're going to be the riders stretching it out. Russ a bit cooked. He's been having to multitask his way around. So let's see who's going to take this on. So the front are winding it up, and it's about hanging on to the back of this pack as long as you can. Don't let those gaps go, because it's going to get really gappy, really dot to dot. Very, very fast. Now, you can see already this group here, currently 23 seconds. Lone Rider in trouble here. Dorsey's in trouble. Looks like Billy No Mate's in trouble. Rodney's in trouble. Sutcliffe, Barrett, at the back of this group. You can just see it's fracturing as people try and stay with this pace. It's dragging them along, and there are groups going to start to form everywhere. Just with Barrett from the 10B Aces at the moment. Now, if you don't panic, you do some recovery, you can get back in. Looks like John Hind in here, Barry Kipling, his seasoned campaigner in Kipling. Now, are they going to be burned cakes, or is he going to be able to pull out a little special something out for the top of the later today, because it's going to be tough stuff. Just in with Gale at the moment. Gale just pushing on here, 300 watts, 142, 145 beats per minute. Now we're just going up over the top of the riders. Now we're in with Pillsworth at the moment, just having to fight to stay with the group. We're going to drop back down in with them if we can, because you can just see this is the second group that's forming here. So this is group number 2 that's forming. Their leading group is still detaching riders. Russ has seen the danger. He's on his way across here. Just going to take a little bit of a run up the road here. Going to try and get in with the back of this group. Easier said than done. Lindley at the moment in trouble. Crease in trouble. Now you can just see Russ just sat on the back of Taylor Leach at the moment to try and get across this gap. Now let's take a little bit of a run up now. Potts is in the back of the group. Can Potts hold on to this on the back as we came up the climb? As we came into Trafalgar Square, back into that group, but now Potts is starting to feel the pace and is in trouble here. Booker in this group now. Booker can hold this pace. We know he can. But this is a big group up on the front. You can see here Ian Bale in here. We've got Xander Graham in, Neil Birmingham, Ryan Crawley. We've got Sadler in this, Carl Briggs in, Ben Kokin in this group, Neil from the Crosscast in here from Gritty. It's a real who looks like Samul in this group. Looks like Thomas Crapper doing a good job holding in here. Good one, mate. That's good riding by young Thomas. Then we've got the cool temerity to take a drink on the way through. Just in with OZK at the moment. So OZK nicely, and he looks like this in real life as well. Complete with the facial hair and the flat cap, definitely. So good to see. Looks like these riders just dropping in here. Osmond in, Kieran Smith close to the front. Tom is in here, and Chris Hilbert is in the group. We're speaking of Chris Hilbert earlier on about putting in a great ride at the Nationals. And Chris is in here from Clancy Briggs, coach at the Clancy Briggs Academy, skills coach with that squad. And he's right in with the mix, just sat here in that blue with the high vis. As onto the front, you can just see the pace being wound up at the moment. And these riders really are fighting to keep the pace super high here. So these are your leaders as they come out. Woodall now back up onto the front. Still plenty of people trying to get in touch behind, but the gaps are opening now behind Tim Cooper, and it's going to be the man on home turf. It's going to be Mason, I think, who's going to lead them up onto this line, just riding in with Kieran Smith at the moment. Kieran in here. Kieran's currently at 94 res per minute, really trying to keep that pace high now. Jimmy Allen is in this group as well. Remember, Jimmy Allen is going to be our beacon on Thursday. Jimmy, known for his clear messaging, his absolute refusal to change from the pace that he says, and a great leader of the chain gang when he has to step in for us. Definitely a worthy replacement, and definitely deserving the nickname the Wolf, because he does take it out to the riders as they come in. But at the moment, these riders, this is the leading bunch now. Looks like this is going to get interesting. We've got Hudson in here as well. Now Hudson, of course, one of our younger riders in this group. So Harry Hudson in, and the younger riders, of course, always having a little bit of an advantage. Tend to be lighter, but Harry, a regular on Zwift. You can see he's already got that Tron bike, the Zwift Concept one as it's known, as onto the front. We're starting to see a little bit of a kick here, and it's by Darryl Tatchell-Waller, who is eschewed his normal Tron bike. He's gone lightweight. He's gone with the Mellensteins. He's gone with a tarmac frame. So he is on the front. Hudson now just trying to chase that group back down again. This is going to get very close as we go up on to the climb. So you can just see the pressure going on. Hudson going clear up on the front. Hudson has Kieran Smith sat on his wheels. Kieran here again. Kieran going for, that's an interesting mix Kieran's got. So Kieran's got a flat cap on it. He's gone for a deep front. He's gone for a disc rear because of the predominantly flat nature, the downhill nature of the course. But he's gone for a lightweight frame. Interesting mix, whereas Hudson going up for the Tron bike behind him then. Xander Graham is leading that chase behind. He's gone lightweight. Chris Hilbert has gone more aero with that Aero Road frame. Then it's going to be Crawley starting to come across the gaps. They can just see that it is starting to wind itself up here on the front of the group here. So we've got 5 riders at the front. They're going clear of the pack behind, the pack being led by Booth. So it's going to be Booth, Tastiel, Waller, Iredale, Jones, Mason, Conley, AD Dench, Birmingham, all in that big chasing pack. But these 3 riders are trying to close the gap down on the riders in front, and this is Kieran Smith along with Hudson. So Harry Hudson and Kieran Smith are the riders who are leading this out, just riding in with Kieran at the moment. You can just see that gap down to Hudson of 1 second. Kieran just holding it at 5.7 to 6.1 watts per kilo as he comes up this slope. So here he comes. This is Kieran Smith we're following at the moment, certainly keeping this nice and smooth. He's the lead rider now as the gap starts to go out to Hudson. Hudson, second rider on the road. Here comes Hudson now being closed down. Ryan Crawley is trying to close that gap down. Crawley just burning up a power up there. So this is the chasing group behind. So Hudson in the black, then it is the green and gold of Crawley. They are 2 and 3 on the road. 4th at the moment, quickly coming across that gap. It's the man in pink here. It is Xander Graham, the youngster, just pulling his way on to the back of the group. Then it's going to be Chris Hilbert here. So Hilbert now. This is Hilbert in the black with the pink, yellow and blue, pulling his way up on to the leaders. Behind him you just see Topping coming. In fact, Topping is going to go over the top here. He's going to go right round him on that left hand shoulder, so he goes up in front now of Hilbert. Iredale is then in this pack that's being led by Mason, the fat cyclist, trying to chase down the group. Just see the pack behind Mason. Riders springing out from behind him, and then the gaps open up. You get down to Birmingham, then it's back to George Cooper. Spice. George got tired legs. Then it's going to be OZK Run It, Richardson, Osman, Woodall. Then it's going to be Neil from the Crosscast. Then it's Rob Wimble. So you can see a real mix of riders. Our Yellow Beacon having a ride with the pack on the way up. We're going to take a little bit of a run back to the leading group if we can. Going to be easier said than done on this zigzag course. So we're going to jump up to Kieran Smith. Kieran is our leader at the moment. He's got a 10-second gap on the riders behind this young man, of course, former National Hill Climb medalist, currently on his way up this climb, a regular out in the peak as well. And Kieran, of course, pretty sure, if I'm remembering rightly, a former Bolsover rider as well. Now, real battle here because we've got some very well matched riders in here. We've got Topping in this group, Xander Graham, Harry Hudson. We've also got Ryan Crawley in the group. So Richard Topping in with them. Then behind it's Will Jones and Chris Hilbert, pretty much together with Jimmy Allen in the mix. You can just see Jimmy Allen at the moment just leading this charge back into the group. So Jimmy Allen is going to make this. This is all basically a race for second place here. Jones coming across as well. So Jones is going to make contact, I think. So is Chris Hilbert. So is AD Dench. Chris Iredale and Booth. This group, they could well get back in. So let's take this up with our drone cam. You can just see this is the chasing group, and Jimmy Allen has gone straight through that pack and has actually just gone to go off in pursuit, I think. So just taking a little bit of a look up the road, and it is Jimmy Allen who's gone off in pursuit of Kieran Smith at the moment, and he's putting the distance in, so clearly stretching his legs. He knows his Yellow Beacon on Thursday. He's stretching his legs out here as he come up this climb. He's got a gap on them, but the man who's up near the top of the climb, it is Kieran Smith. Kieran is going to come into the line first. He's got the gap on everybody, and it is going to be a solo run in for victory for Kieran Smith behind. And they are all trying to chase down Jimmy Allen. Allen time, getting his time in. The Wolf is going to bite and take out the rest of the group. He couldn't get this one. One of them escapes his prey is the youngster Kieran Smith, who takes it. Then behind Jimmy Allen is on his way into the line. It's going to be Jimmy who's going to take second place. Remember, he's leading our group on Thursday. Then it is going to be a sprint. It's Sandergren from Jones from Topping, then Crawley. Next up is going to be Hilbert, being followed through by Booth. Birmingham comes through. Hudson comes through. The fast cyclist Mason comes through. Idale comes through. Conley now just detached from that group. He's on his way through. You can see the times on your left, 6:16. The fastest time. Conley going to beat his time. I'm sure he is. So Conley comes through with a 6:47. Going to drop back. Then it's going to be a fight here between Ozuke and Cooper. So it's going to be Ozuke who's going to get this. So it's Ozuke just taking that from Tim Cooper behind. Then Tatishal Waller on his own, on his way in to the finish here. So it's going to be Tatishal Waller, our next rider, heading in to the finish. So good riding by Darrell. Then we're going to see Simon Runnett coming through. It's going to be Osman behind. Then it's going to be Richardson. Looks like Neil from the Crosscast coming in and through the line. Then Woodall. Steve Gisa about 20 seconds down. He's just in front of George Cooper. Cooper behind him, though. He's starting to put down the watts. This is going to be close. Let's see who's going to get this. Oh, I wouldn't want to call that. It's almost as close to the finish of the sprint in at the finish of the taking the third places in the men's race up near the finish. As Bale comes in at the cross at the weekend. It was really close. If you want to see first and second places, you've got to watch a photo finish for the cross. That's how tight it is. He's good ride by Thomas Crapper again. He was racing again at the weekend. West comes through, then it's Genther, then it's going to be Reaney. Reaney on his way to that line, so he's going to come through. Then it's going to be Pillsworth just making his way in. Barrett just on his way to the line, but Rob Wimble's going to go for him. Wimble just on his heels there. Tukey Orrell going through. Nunn comes through. Good ride by Matt Nunn. Then we're going to drop back. It's going to be Barry Kepler. He's going to be our next rider into the line. Good to see all these PBs coming. It's absolutely snowing confetti of PBs on its. The riders come through. Then it's going to be Greenway being followed up by Dubash. So here we go on the way in. Joff's kicking here. Can Joff take this out from them? Whoa, so close. Joff almost got them there. Hein goes through as well. Steve Hilbert goes up. Harley Hobbs is going to be our first female in and through the line. I think we're just going to double check. So Harley Hobbs, yeah, with an 8:16. You can tell the other times were all set as we came through. As the lap number one, Carl Kapinski's through. Looks like Samuel and Dorsey both coming through pretty much together. Then it's going to be Sadler being followed by Carl Briggs. Briggs holding into that go, and pretty comfy in that group. So looking good. Gale then is going to be being chased here by Ben Cokin. So Cokin in the black, following Gale in the red. Then it's going to be Crease in the grey. And then it's going to be, so after Matt Crease, it's going to be Gale Phillips. So Gale is going to be the second of our female riders up here. So Gale clearly on form at the moment, and 9:01 as she comes through. Another PB for Gale. Then it's going to be Malin and Cannon. They've got Sir Rodney about 8 seconds down, Beefy from Cycleways in that duo as well. So Steve Cannon's going to be our next rider into the finish. So here we go, Cannon on his way in to the line here. So Rodney is behind, and looks like Cannon goes through as the sun starts to set. So Rodney just going to take the sprint there from Bal Beefy from Cycleways. Lone Rider comes in immediately behind, and it's going to be a little gap back to Ferron. So it looks like Russ a little dead in the water, a little bit further back. I'm not sure he's not waiting for the riders behind us. Ferron just starts to freewheel his way back down. We've got, looks like it's going to be Greg Booker, not to be Booker State. Maybe saving his laser, because fast man we know could be right up there. Not to be his day today at the front. Then it's going to be Sutcliffe Looks like Russ quickly back on and kick it again. Maybe we'll be testing out the tech. So just in with Sutcliffe, then Andy Verrill Borelli, and then Jarvis Hayward. Looks like Russ tucked into this group. Owens and Inslee in here, so a real mix of riders. Just see a number of these riders have already gone in and over the line. So Ferrum we saw go through. Next up should be Sutcliffe. He's going to lead the group in. So it's going to be Sutcliffe, then I think Borelli along with Verrill as they come in. So it is Sutcliffe just on that climb, just giving us away, which is always good to see. So Jason Sutcliffe from out of the saddle. Making his way up. He's got an 8-second gap to Borelli and Verrill, and 11 seconds to Hayward, 12 to Jarvis, 19 to Russ at the moment. So Sutcliffe coming in, going to take the right and then the left. So left-hand turn underneath the gantry done. Andy Verrill's going to be our next rider in, so it's going to be Andy who comes through just in front of Stefano Borelli in the pink. And great riding by both these, both key supporters of cycling. Then it's going to be Keith Hayward. He's going to come through just ahead of Joe Jarvis. Jarvis is going to come through. He's going to set a fastest time for Joe. I think we're going to see that time. Yeah, it's an 11:02, so she's knocked that time down. Another personal best for Joe. Well done, Joe. Then it's going to be Owens coming through behind. Then Sonia Inslee on her way in towards the line. Sonia had the fastest time. What time is Sonia going to set up there? So Sonia Inslee's 10:26 up the climb. And then it's going to be Russ, the yellow beacon. So Russ in and through the finish there. Those lightweight wheels on the bike as he makes his way up the slope. Now on to the warm down as we head in towards that 41 mark. Then it is going to be Tracy coming through. So Tracy, let's have a look at Tracy's time. A 10:38, good ride by her. And then it's going to be Dooley, good ride by Dooley as well. Emma Dooley doing a great ride there, coming in and through the Elisha, all done now. So just the run in towards the finish to do for Dooley. Jeff Saysol just easing off those pedals, so then we're going to take a little bit of a run back because I think our next rider on the course is going to be Wilson. So Jeff Saysal just helping the riders in front. Then it's going to be Wilson, so Steve Wilson. Then we're looking, I think, potentially Jason Stevens and Jim Flynn, the next riders on the course. After that, they're on the zigzags together. So Stevens and Flynn chasing Wilson at the moment. So Wilson on the climb, Russ of course heading down towards the top of this, and then he'll be dropping off the far side of the hill. Dooley just pedaling away up the hill. Saysal in and through. Looks like Wilson just coming up to crest the top of the hillside here. So here we go. Steve Wilson coming in towards the line. Great riding by Steve as he comes round past the visitor centre, past the viewpoint. And will be lining himself up for that finishing line very shortly indeed. Remember, we always finish the Chaingang at a fixed point if we can, rather than the blue banner, which has a habit of varying for all sorts of people. So Steve Wilson just working his way up over the top. We're going to be in and through the archway. So through goes Wilson, going to take a little bit of a check back to our riders behind. I think they're coming up to that right-hand turn. Wilson just on to that descent at the moment. So Wilson descending down off the hillside. Looks like Stevens and Flynn are going to be our next two riders. They're onto the climb, just coming round onto the right-hand hairpin turn. This is our red beacon. Helping the team out at the back. Remember, of course, all of the riders here And hopefully going to be getting a great workout out on the course, and hopefully get a smooth run through. Now going to see if we can get hold of Russ. Always tricky to do so if we are at the end, particularly as the tech is playing up, which I think it is at Russ's end. Just double checking. Looks like Russ just having a bit of a mare with his technology, so getting to enjoy the climb up instead. So great riding by our Red Beacon here. A massive thank you to all of our Red Beacons. It's all part of the Donny Chaingang spirit of keeping it all together and nice and smooth, making sure that they make the gang work for everybody. And our Red Beacons, of course, the rotor's now in all the way up till Christmas, in fact, to the end of the year, which is brilliant to see everybody jumping in and helping out. Absolutely critical to the running of the chain gang. And of course, Jason Stevens here just holding a nice 2.2, 2.3 watts per kilo. Jim Flynn sitting in at the same as well. So keeping that pace high as we go up the Surrey Hills, up onto Box Hill. Now on the big climb itself. So if we take a jump in, you can just see that currently nicely up onto that climb, and we got the right hand turn just coming into view. That is where it levels off, and you can then do a little sweeping left hand turn around and into the finishing line. So currently on that 5% section, and ticking the power along as they go up the climb. Currently showing 5% on the screens as well. So whilst they make their way up, a quick reminder, don't forget to join the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club if you can. It's done either as a year's donation or a month's donation, and we have November and December still to go in the Donny Chaingang, as well, of course, as the last couple of weeks of October. And in those last 2 weeks of October, we have in the gang, of course, the giveaway that is Halloween. So Halloween, courtesy of our great supporters Halo, who are there looking after our members, and Halo will be involved. We've got some great routes coming up for that. Really looking forward to the Tuesday. So great to see them back in again. So we're just getting confirmation that Russ has got pretty much everything dead all round on the old tech front where he's at the moment. Always great to put it to test. No matter how many times you test all your tech out in the other rides, there's nothing like Donny Chaingang to stretch it to its limits and make it snap. We've learned that definitely over the last 18 months. Russ and I, it's great to have so many people still in and on the chain gang regularly. And thank you very much to Gail, the nomination for Club of the Year being transferred over to Inspiration. I have to say that we were supportive of. We definitely would support the Club of the Year, because we think, Russ and I both would agree, it is a team effort, and the chain gang is the sum of all of its parts. And you take away any one part of it, whether that's the great spirit, the membership, the volunteers, the Red Beacons, Russell, myself, of course, might be the spiders at the centre of the web, but it is a big web, and you can't afford for any of those strands not to be there, otherwise the whole lot will come down. And it is down to the great support of our members that means that Russ and I are able to keep on bringing you the chain gang. Obviously, as things get busy, we have things jumping in. Great to see Russ diving down to the Great Ormond Street Hospital to help them out on Thursday. I'll be at TLB at the National Time Trial, actually heading over there tomorrow evening. So I'll be at TLB for the time trial, up on stage live there. Don't forget, you can catch up with all of the championship coverage. It's going out pretty much from flag to flag on the various stations. If you jump onto the website for the Lincoln Grand Prix. You can catch up with all of the details on there, and don't forget, of course, that you can get those details. The easy way to do so is to jump in. Remember, it's the Lincoln Festival of Cycling, and you can catch up with the Lincoln Grand Prix on various social media. The Century TV is going to be bringing you all of the productions, so we are going to be seeing the time trials on Thursday. There's going to be updates through all the social media channels through British Cycling, plus highlights programme on ITV at 7 o'clock on the Monday. We're going to see the circuit races will have live coverage on GCN, Eurosport Player, and on British Cycling's YouTube channel, and there'll be a highlights programme on ITV for that one. And then the road races on the Sunday, well, that is live coverage on GCN, Eurosport Player, and British Cycling's YouTube, and again, highlights programme on ITV4 at 7 p.m. on the Tuesday. That's from the Sunday's programme. Now, two riders who are going to not want to go climb Michael Gatt's climbing Box Hill twice. Well, it is our two riders on the way. And just seeing Jim Flynn and Jason Stevens doing a great job up here and pushing over the top of that crest, now going in towards the gantry. So just in with our red beacon. Great to have our red beacons in action. Absolutely critical, and thank you everybody who has volunteered. And as Jim says, cheers for staying with it. Well, that's what the Donny Chaingang is all about. It's all about looking after everybody. If you think it's too fast for you, it's not. We always try and look after everybody. Our beacons ride at about 2 to 2.5 watts per kilo and look after everybody on the way through. They're pulling people back in through to the main bunch as much as they can, or settling into a steady pace to ride in to the finish. So as our duo now starts to hit the descents here, they've got a couple more rises to do on the way through. I'm going to just quickly wrap up. Great show tonight. Great to actually have a really fast change of route there as we went from what was going to be a London loop to a Greater London loop. So only twice up Box Hill. I think there was a lot of people thankful for that. So probably a great thing to happen for many people. Don't forget, of course, that we're back on Thursday, aiming to bring you the broadcast live from a old airfield in Lincolnshire, right next to a mast as we bring it in and head it out. Jimmy Allen will be the ride leader. If I don't make it out, it is quite simply because the National Championship's overrun. Russ goes down at Great Ormond Street. And then, of course, I'm going to be on the mic for the Crit Championships as well on the Friday night, and on the uphill dash in Lincoln on the Saturday evening. And on Sunday, going out, I'll be live at the venue as well on the Sunday for the women's and the men's races. We'll be back with the Chain Gang on Tuesday. And, of course, we are looking forward to bringing you the Women's Wednesday. Now, those Women's Wednesdays links are out. Make sure you join in that. So next week is a 3 Chain Gang week. And then I'm going to be heading up to Scotland, where we are going to be there for Falkirk for the National Trophy as well. So a busy, very busy period at the moment. Thank you for watching. I hope you're getting out on your bike and getting a few more miles than me. So from Russ, Yellow Beacon here today, from myself, Matt Payne, and everybody on the Donny Chaingang. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch up with you on the Downing Cycling YouTube channel next time we head out, and that is going to be on Tuesday.